It seems like AI is everywhere these days.
Yeah, you can't escape it.
But how much of it is hype?
Right. And how much of it is really worth understanding?
I think that's what we're here to figure out.
That's
In
right.
this deep dive, we're going to be taking a look at AI.
Trying to cut through all that noise.
Exactly. And we're going to be looking at AI from all angles, its past, present, and future.
Absolutely.
And I'm really excited to have you here to walk us through all of this.
Oh, well, thank you.
Because I know that you have a knack for taking these really complicated topics and making them accessible.
I appreciate that.
So we're going to be drawing from a source called AI, Evolution, Impact, and Future.
Yep. It's a good one. It covers a lot of ground.
It really does. So where do we even begin with something as vast as AI?
Well, a lot of people think that AI is a new thing.
Yeah, that it's a product of, our current technology.
Yeah, like it just popped up out of nowhere.
Right.
But the reality is that the roots of AI go way back.
Oh, really?
Like mid-20th century. Way back.
Yeah.
We're talking like the 1950s.
Okay.
With people like Alan Turing.
Oh, wow.
Really starting to think about, can machines think?
That's so interesting.
These kind of fundamental questions that even today we are still grappling with.
Yeah.
Those were like the seeds.
So how did we go from those sort of like philosophical questions to what we see today?
Yeah, so from those early kind of thought experiments,
Okay.
people started to develop what were called expert systems.
Okay.
And these were really early attempts to basically capture human knowledge in a computer program.
So like trying to, bottle up the expertise of a doctor.
Exactly. Or a lawyer or an engineer.
Yeah.
Put it into a system that could then make decisions or solve problems.
That's really interesting.
Yeah. And of course, these early expert systems, they were pretty limited.
Right.
But they were a really important step because they kind of set the stage for what came next.
Which
was machine learning.
Ah, yes. Machine learning.
Yeah. This is where things started to get really interesting because instead of trying to explicitly program every single rule into a computer,
Right.
we started to develop algorithms that could actually learn from data.
Yeah. Almost like we do.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
you feed a machine learning algorithm a bunch of data and it starts to identify patterns
Okay.
and make predictions.
And that brings us to deep learning,
Yes, deep learning.
which is kind of like the hot new kid on the block.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So deep learning is a subset of machine learning
Okay.
that uses these artificial neural networks,
Okay.
which are inspired by the structure of the human brain.
Oh, wow. So it's like mimicking the way that our brains work.
In a way, yeah. It's a very simplified model of the brain,
Okay.
but it's incredibly powerful.
And we're seeing the results of that, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, we've got things like ChatGPT composing poems and Bard holding conversations.
It's mind-blowing.
It is. I mean, these are things that even a few years ago we would have thought were impossible.
Yeah, science fiction, but now it's reality.
But it's not just these kind of like flashy examples, right?
No, not at all.
AI is being used in so many different areas.
It's everywhere.
I mean, you mentioned healthcare earlier.
Yeah, so in healthcare, AI is being used to develop new drugs,
Okay.
to diagnose diseases more accurately,
Wow.
to personalize treatment plans.
It seems like the potential for AI in healthcare is just enormous.
Absolutely. I mean, it has the potential to really revolutionize the way that we deliver healthcare.
It really does. And then in finance.
Yeah, finance is another big one.
Right.
AI is being used to detect fraud,
Okay.
to manage investments,
Okay.
to assess risk.
And we're also seeing AI being used in things like self-driving cars
Right.
and delivery drones.
Absolutely.
Which are really starting to change the way that we live and move around.
Yeah, I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
A few years ago, the idea of a car driving itself would have seemed crazy.
Yeah.
But now it's becoming more and more commonplace.
And it's really AI that's driving that innovation. So the applications of AI are just expanding so rapidly.
Yeah, it seems like every day there's a new breakthrough.
Yeah. I mean, the potential is really vast.
It is.
But I think with all this talk of potential, we also have to acknowledge that there are some challenges.
Absolutely.
And it's really important to understand both the good and the potentially challenging aspects of AI as it becomes more integrated into our lives.
Right, and that's what we're going to get into next.
Okay, so next we're going to delve into the impact of AI.
The good, the bad, and the really interesting.
I like that.
Yeah, it's a complex topic, but it's one that we need to be talking about.
Absolutely. So stay tuned.
We'll be right back.
I think, we've talked about all this exciting potential of AI.
Yeah. all the amazing things that it could do.
But, it would be irresponsible of us to not talk about the other side of the coin.
Yeah, the potential downsides.
The challenges that come with such a powerful technology.
Absolutely.
So what are some of the things that we need to be mindful of?
Well, I think one of the biggest concerns that people have
Yeah.
is the impact of AI on jobs.
That's definitely something that I've heard a lot of people talking about.
Yeah, it's understandable.
I mean, as AI systems become more sophisticated,
Right.
they're able to automate more and more tasks.
Exactly.
And that could potentially lead to job displacement.
Right. And it's not just like blue-collar jobs.
Yeah.
We're also seeing AI starting to automate tasks that were traditionally done by white-collar workers.
So like lawyers and doctors and accountants?
Yeah, I mean, even creative jobs like writing and art are starting to be impacted by AI.
So what do we do about that?
Well, I think the key is to focus on adaptation and education.
Okay.
We need to be preparing people for the jobs of the future.
The jobs that will exist in an AI-powered world?
Exactly, because those jobs are going to require different skills
Okay.
than the jobs of today.
So what kind of skills are we talking about?
Well, things like critical thinking,
Okay.
problem-solving creativity,
Yeah.
and the ability to work collaboratively with AI systems.
Because it's not about replacing humans entirely.
Right.
It's about augmenting our capability.
It's about working together.
So it's like this kind of human-AI partnership
Exactly.
where we're each bringing our own strengths to the table.
And I think if we can embrace that mindset,
Yeah.
then we can really unlock the potential of AI.
And use it to create a better future.
But, it's not just about jobs.
Right.
There are broader societal implications of AI that we need to consider.
So things like ethical considerations.
Absolutely.
Bias, privacy.
Yeah, because AI systems are only as good as the data that they're trained on.
Right.
So if the data is biased,
Then the AI system will be biased too.
and that can have real-world consequences.
Yeah, absolutely. And then there's the question of privacy. I mean, as AI systems collect more and more data about us,
Yeah.
how do we ensure that that data is being used responsibly?
And ethically.
That's a really important question.
And I don't think they're easy answers.
No.
But it's a conversation that we need to be having.
Absolutely.
Because the future of AI is not something that's going to happen to us.
Right.
It's something that we're going to create together.
So it's really up to us to decide what kind of future we want.
Exactly. And that starts with having these difficult conversations
About the challenges
and the opportunities.
of this incredibly powerful technology.
Absolutely. And I think that's a perfect segue
Yeah.
into our next topic,
Which is a role of education.
in shaping the future of AI.
And ensuring that it benefits all of humanity.
So stay tuned. Well, we've talked about so much in this deep dive into AI,
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground.
from its early beginnings with those philosophical questions
Right, can machines think?
to its really profound impact on our world today.
Yeah, and we even peeked into the future a little bit.
We did, talking about the possibility of general AI
AI that could potentially surpass human intelligence
and a future where humans and machines might work together.
in ways that we can't even imagine yet.
It's all pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
It really is. And a little bit daunting, too.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting, but it's also a bit overwhelming.
Because it feels like we're standing on the edge of something truly transformative.
We are.
And it's up to us to decide what kind of future we want to create.
Exactly.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with a final thought.
Okay, shoot.
It's not enough to just sit back and observe these changes happening around us.
Right, we can't just be passive observers.
We have to be active participants.
We have a responsibility to shape the future of AI.
So what can our listeners do?
Well, I think the most important thing is to stay informed.
Okay.
Read articles, listen to podcasts like this one,
Great plug.
talk to people who are working in the field of AI.
Yeah, because the more you understand about AI.
The better equipped you'll be to make informed decisions about its development and use.
Absolutely.
And don't be afraid to ask questions,
Yeah, challenge the status quo.
because the future of AI is not predetermined.
It's something that we are all creating together.
And we need your help to make sure that it's a future that benefits all of humanity.
Well said. Thank you so much for joining us on this incredible journey into the world of AI.
It's been a pleasure.
And to our listeners,